Hello everyone, it's Jason here and welcome back to Rocket League. Today, ladies and gents, we're going to be discussing the top 50 best animated movies according to the BBC and I believe also the British public. This was a show that aired, I think it was just around Easter. Very, very interesting. I was watching the last half of it, so the top 30. I know it's not half, but come on, people. I watched quite a bit of it, and I was just thinking, okay, they're gonna say any minute now, Zootopia or Zootropolis in our case, because England has to be a special snowflake and call it something different. Never came. Neither did Moana. Or Big Hero 6. Or any other recent movie. So either the editing team was behind and didn't get the final production out until very late, or perhaps they perhaps either that, or it just takes them a really long time to get a show like that comprised together. That's another possibility. Another possibility, and this is one that I'm going with just because out of pure spite. I'm going to go with they didn't want to include new titles because unlike countries like America, for say, where new things are often met with open arms, American meme creators are the stuff of legend. I think every single meme I can think of was made by an American, or at least first originally early adopted or originally posted by an American. No British memes. Why am I mentioning memes? What's important? Memes are very new. They're always constantly dying and then being reborn as something entirely different, creating new memes, old memes, all the memes all the time. The thing that the thing that I think is different with Britain is a very traditional country, whereas America is more right-wing conservative than Britain, according to most political sources. I'm going to try not to talk politics because that is just a minefield of its own. But again, try not to talk politics here. Britain is more sort of left wing, I don't know, conservative. But the difference between the two is Britain kind of politically mimics America almost. Whenever America make a decision based around immigration, England make similar policies on their immigration status. I notice America and Britain, historically, I mean, after, of course, the War of Independence, ironically, we basically paired up in a lot of modern conflicts, both world wars. I don't think Britain had any involvement in Vietnam, but there you go. Iraq, Afghanistan, things like that. So America and Britain are tight. They're NATO buddies. Let's call them that. The NATO buddies. And so are all the other countries involved with NATO. Everyone's just NATO buddies. But that's the thing. Britain does, in a way, mimic America, because America changed a lot in the time when Britain's empire was receding. So I believe Britain likes to mimic America to a certain extent, but also likes to hold back and keep its traditions, just in case America did something that would be disastrous. I think it's the same thing with new forms of entertainment. Ask anyone in America what a meme is; they will know. Ask 50% of the population of Britain, and you get an entirely different response. I'm mentioning this because I'm not saying British people are afraid of new things. We're just not as with it, you know. We're just not really always on the ball. Always, you know, unlike me, who just completely misses. We're not always on the ball with things. We don't always adopt to things easily. And although Zootopia, or for the sake of this video, I'll refer to it as Zootropolis because we're talking about its ranking in Britain. Although Zootropolis is a very highly critically acclaimed movie, arguably one of the best movies Disney has ever made, Britain still would prefer to see a movie that is old or classic, like other Disney works that ranked very highly on the list. To mention a few: Bambi, Watership Down. That wasn't the last one. Wasn't Disney? Was Toy Story? That was number one. The Incredibles. Some of these movies are decently old, and by decently old I, of course, just mean a few years, perhaps maybe a decade at most. Others are time-honoured movies, Disney classics from the golden era. Snow White also ranked particularly high, number 9, despite the fact that in a lot of people's eyes, or at least on the Eastern Seaboard, it's not a good movie. The reason I don't think it's a good movie, and this is just me talking here, is because the characters seem a bit one-dimensional. Of course, you've got your token princess, you've got 9 dwarfs, not 9 dwarfs. We've got 7 comic reliefs, you got token villain and token prince to... Oh, just kicked the mic, sorry. And your token hero to show up out of nowhere and just instantly save the day. Huzzah! No character development. I guess with some of the dwarfs there was a bit, but still, Snow White herself is a pretty uninspiring character. I think the only reason the dwarfs kept her, and I shit you not, this is from my analysis of the movie, is because she could cook and clean. Bravo, Disney! What great feminism. I'll save Disney and sexism for another day. But perhaps it's best to say that Disney have definitely moved on since then, and have made some time-honoured movies. Some starring very, very good female protagonists. Frozen was admittedly in the top 20. That was around, was it 2014? 2 years old? Damn. I feel old now. But some people consider that the best Disney movie of all time. And myself, not so much. But I will admit it is a damn good movie. Also, the aforementioned Zootropolis. Moana I've heard is good, but I can't confirm because I've never seen it. I might watch it in the future, but you know, it just depends, mate. That just depends. And Big Hero 6, again, another movie I haven't watched. But also didn't see on the top 50 list, and that's astounding because I've heard a lot of good reviews. You had a good voice acting cast, very solid animation, good storyline, plot. From what I've heard, an amazing movie. So, one thing that does annoy me, because I mean the disinclusion of older movies, newer movies, is understandable. I mean, there's the other two reasons why they couldn't maybe mention them, because they hadn't come out at the time allotted when they're making the top 50s, and just after that the movies maybe came out, and the BBC were smacking their heads like, "Oh, we made a mistake, lads. We made a horrible mistake. How could we not include the legend that is Zootropolis? How can we not include Big Hero 6, Moana? We're going to get panned for this." But here's the thing that really ticks me off and really proved my point of bias. DreamWorks have made some questionable movies. I mean, there are some good DreamWorks movies, but there are also some that haven't aged very well. And one of those is the original Shrek. Now, Shrek, I know Shrek is love, Shrek is life to some people, but let's face it, guys. Let's face it. Shrek is no masterpiece. The animation would barely hold up today, and that's being generous. Despite the fact it also spawned 3 sequels, and I shit you not, a 5th movie will be coming out in 2019. That's not including a spin-off and a TV show. Not to mention all the merchandise. The freaking merchandise. Man, I remember back in the, they call it the noughties, but I personally think that sounds stupid. But hey, each their own. Maybe it's actually a really cool name and I really can't appreciate it. But back in the 2000s, as I call them, you couldn't shimmy down the block with your homies without hearing or seeing Shrek-related news. This kind of thing was all over the shop. Now, just to clarify, I just reset the ball. There's no glitch here. So whenever I just do this, don't worry, the video's not glitching out. There's no editing problem. I'm just resetting the ball. Boop. Where was I? Yeah, another movie that might not have stood the test of time and is a bit over sequelized is Ice Age. The 5th movie for that has already come out, and I really hope they can let the franchise die. That sounds harsh, but... And I can understand why people would like it. The voice cast is pretty good. There's some solid chemistry, but... Just... I mean, I think it's sort of... I don't know, I think it's sort of run its track. The animation style's a bit ancient, and... To be honest... I don't really find the stories compelling anymore. Collision Course was essentially, from what I've heard, an asteroid colliding into the Earth, and that threatened all life on Earth. And that didn't really interest me. What was more interesting to me that I saw in the trailers was the fact that they have made a 5th Ice Age movie. So, now that I've spat some shit at DreamWorks, well, I'm not sure if Ice Age is DreamWorks, let's talk about some of the entries that I actually agree with. Toy Story. Number 1, might be pushing it. Might. Would personally prefer to see Toy Story 2 or 3, but again, Britain is with the classics, and I can kind of understand that. Oh gosh, that was a cool trick. Wait. Bambi, good movie, I've mentioned it before. I might pan it a bit because at the start it's a bit cutesy. Oh yeah, it's all nice. But, you know, there are moments, I think if you watched Bambi, you know what I'm talking about. That are definitely darker. And I kind of like that. It's a sort of surreal. It's showing the good and bad side of life. And I think the moral of the story is shit happens. That's all I gain from that. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I don't agree with as much, despite the fact that I watched it a lot as a kid. Ironically enough. Ooh. Inside Out got on the top 20. I think it was at 12, and that it really pleased me. Pleasantly surprised me because I'd forgotten all about Inside Out somehow. How could I forget about Inside Out? That was an amazing movie. That movie really touched me. You know, it was good. The animation was on point. I think the voice cast was good. I can't really argue with the story at all. I don't think anyone really can. But the premise of it is also ingenious. I like it. I just really freaking like it. Ooh. Let me think. Aladdin. I've got to say, I do like Aladdin. I watched it a few years ago. I didn't exactly grow up with watching Aladdin. I watched it when I was in my early teens, like maybe 13. But yeah, very good movie. I liked it a lot, and I think I can just about tolerate the sequels of that one of that movie. Ooh. So now that I have bitched, wailed, and kicked up a strop, and spouted my own opinion, let's speculate. What will be on, say, the top 50 animations of 2020? Obviously, they're going to want to rehash this whole idea a bit. Before I did top 50 Disney songs, so the top 50 people will have no shortage of Disney movies to pick from, with 54 Disney classics and a whole butt ton of movies and shorts, as well as cartoons. That'll be interesting. Pitting each Disney animation in a battle royale for the public's top vote. It would be very interesting to see that. A few predictions of my own. Assuming, you know, people keep up with the times and realise, you know, classic Disney wasn't as good as some people speculate, in my opinion. I'm just being biased. Classic Disney is good. Whatever you guys think, keep hold of your opinions. Hold on to them tightly. Ooh. But also be open to stuff. Anyways, enough rambling. Time for my predictions for the top 50 Disney animations should the BBC ever make a show. I'm thinking earlier on in the list we'll see some animations from the Dark Age of Disney. Not the Renaissance. No, the Dark Age. We're talking the Black Cauldron. We're talking the Aristocats, although I do like the Aristocats. I grew up watching that movie. Damn it, that song is stuck in my head! A lot of people like Oliver and Company, and they say it's a very underrated movie. Then again, they have said that about The Rescuers Down Under. I've also heard critics absolutely scream at that one. So that's what we're talking about. Maybe bottom tier, if at all, on the top 50. Moving up into the good tier, just about good. I know just about good Disney movies, but there are some damn solid animations. I'm thinking this, in my world, Star vs. Forces of Evil would be here, as well as Phineas and Ferb, and I can see why they would be biased towards putting the cartoons on lower tier, because the Disney Channel is not a very British thing. It's not available on standard British TV, and so understandably people wouldn't be as well acquainted with it. However, what I hope to see on a higher tier and moving into the really good stuff, is maybe Gravity Falls. If you don't know, guys, I'm a huge fan of Gravity Falls. For my birthday, my parents, I think it was my parents. Damn, this is gonna kill me if I've forgotten. I've forgotten. But yeah, someone bought me the Gravity Falls Journal 3, which is a massive reference to the show. Anyone who's ever watched one episode will be able to tell you that is the plot device. That is the device of the plot, ladies and gents. And now I have it, and it is fun as hell to read through. Actually, even purchased the UV light to see if it would work on it, just like it does in the book, in the cartoon. So yeah, Gravity Falls. I would love to see Gravity Falls. If you want to hear me talking more about Gravity Falls, there is an Overwatch video on my channel in which I discuss Gravity Falls. You should be able to find it by the title. Another one I want to see on the same tier, maybe higher or lower than Gravity Falls, is Monsters Inc. Grew up watching Monsters Inc., so personal bias here. Good movie. I think it's Billy Crystal who plays Mikey. Can't honestly argue with that. I'm thinking that will definitely come before Monsters University, despite the fact that I like them both equally. And if I had to choose one, I would go towards University. Let's say you can't beat the original, but my preference is just with University. Even though it's a prequel, even though character roles are reversed, I kind of like that premises. But hey, that is legit just me, guys. Maybe just a little lower than that. We'll see The Fox and the Hound, and that'll be like the really good tier. We're talking about 40 to 30. A little higher up, this is when we get to some of the classics, the Renaissance, Disney classics, all the kind of princess movies, with the exception of a few of the modern ones. Some of the modern Disney movies are pretty good. Though, that being said, I'm glad that we haven't seen a Disney princess movie in a few years now. It's a good sign to me. And in my opinion, it's just a bit dated. It's a bit bland, you know. It just doesn't send a good enough message for young girls out there. All you need to do is, you know, just be a good housewife, and there you'll have your Prince Charming. That's just not good, man. Ooh. They see me rolling, they hating. Ooh. I believe, however, Frozen, strongly believe this, was a pretty good film in terms of what Disney should be standing for in the modern era. Sorry, I was distracted by the awesome air guitars out of nowhere. Anyways. Sorry, lost my train of thought. I'm thinking around here we will see The Incredibles. As we've seen before, there is incredible bias towards The Incredibles. Despite being a really good, solid movie, Britain seems to praise it as if it is the definitive family movie. Because, look, it has a family in it! And they all have superpowers affecting their personalities. Wow! No, that doesn't instantly make it a genius concept. Alright, but speaking of genius concepts, a little higher up, I want to see Inside Out. I want to see Inside Out on the golden tier. We're talking 20 to 10 here. I want to see it on there because have you ever heard of that rumour that there are people in your head? Britain played around with this idea when, I guess it was really the Beano. The Beano played around with this idea when they released a series of comic strips called The Numbskulls. I'm not sure if the Beano is affluent in America. I believe they have it in America, but it's a lot different from our Beano. In the American Beano, I believe Dennis the Menace has a blonde hair, and in our uh, in our Beano in our Beano in our Beano, Dennis the Menace has this black spiky hair and looks like a right mug. But hey, tradition. There's certainly going to be no shortage of really good movies. I'm thinking you'll probably see Frozen up a tier above that. We're talking top 10s now. Then in maybe top 5, and here's just spitballing here, I would like to see Zootropolis. I would beg and plead to see it on the top 5. I'm thinking for more up to the top 3 or something, we see some of the Toy Story movies, because I will not argue that Toy Story is one of the best Disney movies. A lot of people prefer Toy Story 3, and I don't know where I stand. I don't know, I like all the movies, so it'll be hard to differentiate, but they'll have to differentiate it a bit to, make up the difference. I'm thinking 3 will get neglected down to slightly lower tier, purely because Britain is, as I've said many times, a traditional country. Very, very traditional. Tea every day at 4. Hip hip. Yeah, that's my prediction for a possible upcoming BBC movie popular vote thingamajig. I can words, Mom. I can words. Make sure you guys leave your comments below and tell me what you guys thought of the Britain's top 50 animated movies. Did you agree with it? Did you not agree with it? Did you not watch it? If you did not, then whoops, might have spoiled it for you. But I'm sorry. I should maybe put a spoiler warning at the head of this video. But ooh, nearly. But anyways, I've been your host, Jason Paul McDermott, and you have all been fantastic. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.